gosh. I should take some Tylenol. Fuck it. Elegant Sea Urchin is a serial oral fiction written, presented, and produced by Swoon as part of the... Elegant Sea Urchin is a serial oral fiction written, presented, and produced... Wait. That's not what we're here for. Hello, Faceless Riot. I hate to interrupt your regularly scheduled program, but I only plan the first 2 seasons to be 10 episodes each. And for now, that means there's 2 months out of the year that don't have episodes planned for upload. So I thought now's a better time than any to share some outtakes and talk a little bit about this thing that I write. This thing you receive into your ear holes. This thing I call an oral fiction. Not with an O. This thing that I'm truly having a blast creating. And also, to give you a sneak peek of this thing's Season 0 finale. This thing, Elegant Sea Urchin. Testing for Elegant Sea Urchin. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. Open your mouth up. Open your mouth up, Swoon. Let's back up. Let's back up and project. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. Collars. Okay. Let me put some chapstick on real quick. You know, maybe the way to do this is to just be close to the mic. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. If anyone had caught me in Enzo... We're gonna do these 1 take at a time. An entire take. I think imperfections might be good. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. If anyone had caught me in Enzo. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. If I had... I'm at 3 minutes, okay. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. I'm gonna get this eventually. We're at 4 minutes now. Okay. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. Mentioned nothing... Fuck. Take 2. No. No dogs. No dogs. No dogs. Okay. Take 2. I don't know. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. Elegant Sea Urchin. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Let's stretch a tiny bit. Elegant Sea Urchin. Elegant Sea Urchin. I can't do this with this dress on. We'll wait for that noise to stop. That's a plane. Oh yeah, I see it there in the feedback. Elegant Sea Urchin. Take I don't fucking know. Episode 1. Pilot. Terrorist treats and trauma. They said leashes were required. But mentioned nothing about collars. They said leashes were required. No, I need to move the microphone closer. Alright. Are we cozy? I hate this. They said leashes were required. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. They said leashes were required, but mentioned nothing about collars. I want to start with the name, because I want it out there, and I only want to say it once. I wish I had coined the phrase, but I didn't. An insane anime fan might already have an idea where the reference comes from, but for everybody else, well, there's a slice of life anime called Lucky Star. Lucky Star. Sorry, I slur my words a little bit. It's about high school girls being cute. It's great. I think some covet it a little more than it deserves, but who the hell am I to judge? It influenced me in a huge way. So sometimes when I watch anime, the Japanese put English words together in funny ways, or some ways we translate Japanese phrases to English really stick with me. So I used to write these down. One of the more popular fan subs for Lucky Star translated a phrase to Elegant Sea Urchin. The whole thing was completely random. I think it was at the beginning of a scene where one of the girls said one of the most beautiful phrases is Elegant Sea Urchin, and I thought to myself, don't send me mail while I'm recording. And I thought to myself how ironic it was that they said that. A lot of people have heard phrases such as cellar door being beautiful English phrases. They could have made a simple one-to-one translation for localized symmetry, but it seemed they chose to keep a more direct translation. And I wrote it down because it's a phrase that's unique and just a little bit uncanny in English. This is number 2, Fool's Metal. Note for myself. Hi. And while the moss and algae dusted up... Oh my gosh. Why do I write in such weird flowing ways? It's supposed to be like a rolling cascade of words. Come on. Okay. I have removed my jacket. Oh, there's my shoulder. Okay. And while the moss and algae dusted up from my disturbances, no people from the magenta... Oh, man. No people from the magenta fractured dimension. The first episode, Terrors, Treats, and Trauma, was my own criticism of myself in a weird way. I put a little more of myself into the things I make than I think I should as a fiction smith, but it was 2016. I had gotten my GED because I was a high school dropout and was getting ready to start college, which I am still in and I'm close to completing. I'm going to get my AS hopefully in the spring. What led me to getting my GED was a mix of things, but part of it was that I was making no progress on being a comic artist, and previously writing 2 fiction novels got me nowhere. Boo-hoo, sad swoon. So I gave my relationship to my comics form and wrote the wildest thing I've ever written. Why was there an uncle? And why was I sure he wasn't part of the main character's real family? What really was this abominable 4-legged thing with the main character? What was Doorbell? And where the fuck are we? That's the end of that one. Number 3. Effects, dregs, and title heads. I don't know which one I want it to be. It can be different, depending where I post it. My bones. Let's see. Hang on, I gotta find it. That's number 2. Here we go. Episode 3. I'm just gonna practice Faye's voice for a moment. Okay, future Swoon. When you seek something different than the rest of the world, I think that makes you visionary. There's been a lot of listeners, so let's be visionary. This is so stupid. I have gotten like 10 views. That's okay. Fable is in a different place, and she does a lot more. Oh my god, she broadcasts a lot more than is shown in Elegant Sea Urchin. Grandma arrived home soon. Grandma arrived home soon after. Oh my gosh, why is that so hard to say? I ate too many sweets, so I got like that sweet sticky phlegm all clogging up my gills and shit. Blech. So they can literally choose which male they want to be. Did you know female pobbles ovulate on command? Oh my gosh. Did you know female pobbles ovulate on command so they can literally choose which male they want to bear? Fuck. I'm gonna pause for a moment. Okay. I'm back. I feel a little bit better. Alright. Hang on. I'm on top of my cord. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Here. You're low tide. Why is she southern? Enzo consuming felt like a bent parallel to my relationship with my comics. I spent 2 years writing and drawing, thousands of hours, hundreds of dollars, and it felt futile, cause I'm right shit at promoting, so it didn't go anywhere. I love those stories, and I'm never gonna give up on creating them, but they had to be shelved for the time being, cause once 2017 started, I couldn't keep up with class and making my comics and working, and that's about where the parallel with Enzo ends. I need some water. Hang on. Let's begin episode 5. Just have a preliminary recording, even if we don't do more. Remember, Swoon, we've got to finish this before the end of the month, so that it'll be ready. We won't have to worry about it next month. Because of my recent regular broadcasts, wavecasts, what am I talking about? Who wrote this? Wavecast, come on. I need a tissue real quick. I'm not sick. It's just a little cold. My nose runs when it's cold. Perfect. They said leashes were required, but said nothing about collars. If anyone had caught Enzo and I, or knew there was anything to catch us for, I wonder if he'd be put down. In no way is he vicious. Man, I can't believe that I've memorized that. I've fucking done it so many times. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Because of my recent regular wavecasts, the school has asked me to be an announcer for the playoff and championship doorball games. Heather said, I just thought I'd put on the matching dress to your... Fuck, she's not Southern. She's not a Southern belle. Okay. Got water? I'm all refreshed. It was late 2016 when I polished the first episode. I read it to a friend, had another friend read it aloud, and I really wish I had recorded that. She has a great voice, but admittedly, she'd be a better Yulia. Her sound is a bit brighter, more crisp, less somber than my voice. Which brings us back to 2017. I'd spent months trying out different sounds and timbres for this unnamed point of view character because it was apparent that it needed to be audio fiction. As I started writing the second chapter and coined the most unique phrase I think I'll ever come up with, fool's metal, I was telling someone about this fable I was writing, and somewhere I had already scribbled Faye, and then it clicked. Her name had to be Fable. You can thank Harry Potter for Nox. I'd been looking for a place to use it for years. And then I found what I thought seemed like Fable's sound. I tried refining it and making notes to change the intonations on her vowels so she didn't sound too North American. But when I started recording late in 2017, I realized I didn't quite have the skills yet to keep up her sound and her accent, which is why over the first 3 episodes her voice regrettably changes, and why until recently I sometimes slip into my own voice while recording. Although, you could argue that I'm mostly using my own voice for Faye anyways. Wait a minute. When did Uncle K leave? Oh. I really think, well, I guess I agreed with Bonilla. I was low tide. Uncle 3 wrapped. Uncle K left in episode 3. As he left, he's been gone for the past week since that day. Ha ha ha. Don't get me wrong, Grandma and Uncle K, though he still hasn't been back. Even though he hasn't been back, Uncle K also. They're both supportive of my wave casting. Like Aya. What? Like Aya. I tugged on the knit's ears, eliciting delightful I tugged on the oh my gosh, knits. Tugged on the knit's ears, eliciting delighted rumblings. Okay, got it. Cool. Sorry about that, future Swoon. Didn't mean to. Classes were too close together. And take two. I think that was really good. Wonderful. Let's hope that I pressed record because I wasn't paying attention. I did. Great. Good job, Swoon. I recorded terrors, treats, and trauma at least 20 times, with extra takes here and there, and the product was something that awed me. Going off script here, Elegant Sea Urchin is a lot like writing an actual novel. Getting past that first chapter was really difficult. You want to keep going back and refining and rewriting and getting it perfect, but you don't have anything else written to base the beginning off of. And I think when I realized that, that's when I finally just stopped trying to make it better when there wasn't any way to know what it needed to be yet. Looking back, it's a little clunky, but it's still something that I'm proud of. I gotta move things around over here. I gotta put this right there so we can see the peaks, and put that right there. Raviolis, Chef Boyardee. Pure depression. Alright, into phase voice. Wow, wow, wow. Down the stoop flies KV. I'm gonna take my jacket off for this. Oh, God. This is gonna be frustrating to do, I already know. Just keep an eye on the peaks. Down the stoop flies KV. It's Mesa's ditcher. It seems Cove's bellhop Thad, clueless, and the Cove's adapt. The Cove adapts over to dreadful acolytes and idolers of the fractured dreadful acolytes and idolers of the fractured dimension. Shit, dude, that's hard to scream to. Dreadful acolytes and idolers of the fractured magenta dimension. I haven't seen a game won by a starfish all year. I can do this, okay. Dreadful acolytes and idolers of the fractured magenta dimension. Thermal pens and the Cove critter control. This probably would have been possible without your... I don't want to do something good, but I can't help feeling like I'll fail. Oh, I misread that. I don't want to do something good. Yeah, right. And take one. Ooh, we have a small earthquake. Wow. 7:33. October 26th. That was probably like a 2.53. Wasn't that rough? Where am I? My mouth is really lazy, which is why I kind of slur and lisp. But the more conscious I am of it, the more I feel I'm getting the hang of not slipping out of phase voice. Oh, there's the aftershock. Even as I get better though, I don't know how obvious it is to you, my Faceless Riot, but I recorded episodes 6 through 9, all in one sitting in July when I was really depressed, and just nothing I did made me sound as fey as I knew I could sound. Such is life. My main focus in those episodes was the Doorball Championship and getting Cena and Joneses introduced. I can read this. What do we keep having? Hang on. This happened because in my last phase of end school, I'd been spending too much time in my head with... This happened because in my last phase... Don't worry, future Swoon, I got this. Hang on. I just gotta stretch for a moment. You know, recording episode 7 and being all energetic like that was fucking a lot. Okay. My time map was... Oh, man, I'm exhausted. I'm depressed. I don't want to be depressed. This is recorded before my first speakeasy goes live, and I don't expect a good reception. So, future Swoon, include this in an outtake and comment on how it goes. My time map was swamped. I didn't even realize it. This happened because of my last phase of end school. There's a simplicity in getting everything done at once, though. I need to fucking get coffee. Nope, I can't do this. Okay, sorry, future Swoon. We're going back to the beginning, because you know how we are. Because we got our coffee, and that's what's important in life. Being able to sit back, look at the twinkling lights, and try to find a little hope to cling to, like a moth in a dark sea of depression. To gather and flutter around. Okay, episode 8, Clear Sight. Elegant Sea Urchin is a serial oral fiction written, presented, and produced by Swoon. I look to the purple sunshine. Oh, the purple sunshine. Never, boop, boo. I look to the... Oh, man, I'm having trouble. I'm struggling. Fuck. Come on, Swoon. Come on, Swoon. Let me tie my hair back up. Hang on. I look to the purple sunshine. Shit. I look to the purple shine. For a while... Hang on. Let me finish this coffee real quick. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to edit, I already know. Oh, Faye, I found you and Enzo outside my hollow. She's not southern. Oh, Faye, I found you and Enzo outside my hollow. I need to listen to Candy Shop. Hang on. What a wonderful song that is. Candy Story. Oh, Faye, I found you and Enzo outside my... Where am I? My main focus of these episodes was the Doorbell Championships, and getting Cena and Jones introduced, and the distortion at the end of episode 8, all right. All of which achieved what was needed. Alright. Third one. Let me take my headphones off. I don't need those right now. Third one in a row. Okay. And then I don't know when I'm gonna have time to record number 10. I still gotta finish writing it. It's getting to the point where it's the size of a normal episode. But I want it to be 2 or 3 times longer. Okay. Episode 9. Clicking maws and gaping jaws. Familiar at all? I need the back of my throat to open up to do that. Something like that. I don't know. That's episode 9. You might re-record that last part after you remember, future Swoon, what Jones is supposed to sound like. I don't know. I can't think of it. And take 1. I do have a couple other thoughts. Things I know I left out that I'd like to see eventually, but for now, allow me to share something raw. Not from the cutting room floor, not yet sliced or treated with music, just some simple, raw lines from the finale of Season 0. Episode 10 will be called Hour of Hate. As I suckled, I took in what she said. The truth was, I had a feeling she wouldn't be able to. And that fact isn't the end of life as we know it. I set the fist to punch down. It's got a mean right hook. What the fuck? It's my favorite kind. I know. It's just, my pop doesn't have many years stored up. I know. The tendrils, well, they really want me to start diving in, become a brown nose in a couple years. That's really great, Heather. It isn't! It isn't! She shoved the things on the slab in front of her aside, taking my hand. Hers was shaking, and her dazzling green hill eyes were terrified. I didn't know. I don't know how to express to her that she needs to find solace in things besides being berated. It's why I like her, I think. Because she's consistent. She's Heather. There's nothing about her or her father that I can't figure. And that's reassuring to me in this frightening life. Underwhelming, I know, but that was 20 seconds from what is going to be about a 30-minute episode, maybe? As I wrote episode 2 and loosely outlined, I really wanted to make sure that this weird world, all of these seemingly random things weren't just lol random, but actually had a purpose. And as I outlined, I felt like I'd one-upped myself in a haunting way, making sense out of chaos, poetry out of incoherency, characters with somehow relatable fundamental traits while living an eldritch nightmare. Nothing less and nothing more could be worthy of the name Elegant Sea Urchin. Hey, you. Thanks. And enjoy. And here's a little addendum for the Night Vale team. I really want to thank you for everything you've created and shared over the years. You've been a huge influence to me. And I hope that what I'm doing here, this thing I'm creating, this thing that I'm really enjoying, isn't too much like Night Vale. Thank you, truly, for helping inspire me to make Elegant Sea Urchin.